And obviously, people in the room, we need we need you to keep calm. Yeah, thank you. We're going to start in 1 minute, so we're just 5 minutes behind schedule. That's okay. Hopefully, the people that went to check the YouTube channel, they were patient enough to wait for 4 or 5 minutes. And I'm just checking that it's okay. So it's been broadcasted on the YouTube channel. Now I'm going to start projecting. And okay, so let's see. Zoom. So this is being recorded. And okay. No. Of course, yes. No. Okay. So this. Okay. Okay, 5. This is the countdown, guys. 10. Can you guys count down, please? 10, 9, 8,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, bon dia. Calimera. Buongiorno. Buenos días. Good morning. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming for this first International Congress for Language Teachers. We're going to start now. I'm going to start presenting a little bit more about EduPlat for those of you who have not managed to get to know about what the project is about yet. So before we start talking about EduPlat, I would like you all to talk at the same time, because you can all do it in your Zoom connection. And those of you who are listening to me via the YouTube channel, you can also type there. So I would like you to introduce yourselves. Also, people in the panel, please. Type maybe your name, maybe your connection to the EduPlat project. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what you think, like how you think you can contribute to EduPlat. Maybe you can talk about any specific resource that you are thinking of sharing. Maybe you can talk about how you think that you can contribute in the future. And just to give you an example, I'm going to start. I'm going to say my name is Alvaro. Alvaro, for those who can pronounce my name better, Alvaro Serra. I coordinate EduPlat in Spain, and I've been very fond of EduPlat since the very beginning, because I feel that helping teachers is something that is very, very, very important. Okay, so please use your chats to type about yourselves. You can also say where you're from. There's people from all over the world. And we have obviously many people here in Portugal. Those of you who are here in Águeda, if you want, you can connect as well using your mobile phones. But obviously we understand that you're doing the equivalent and you're talking to each other. You can say, you know, what your names are and everything, yeah? And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about EduPlat. I'm not going to talk much about myself after just saying that, you know, what I just said. I'll let you talk about it, about yourselves in the Zoom and the YouTube channels. So now EduPlat, as you probably know, is an educational platform where students, families, schools, teachers, and other professionals can collaborate, sharing resources. The idea is that if, as a teacher, I invest like 3 hours of my time creating a resource, creating an activity, and I only do with my students once or maybe once a year, from my point of view and from many people's point of view, it's a waste of time, because we don't have the time to prepare all lessons that well. So the idea is that sharing resources, I can use, for example, Alexandra's resources, and then she can pass them to me. I can use them with my students. And it's not just about me using them, it's also about me giving feedback to Alexandra about how I think, from my point of view, that the resources were used by my students. So therefore, Alexandra, who has prepared this activity, she has not just feedback from her own students, but she has feedback from my students, from students of anyone, from Eduardo's, Nicolos, and anyone's here in this room, that there are many people, yeah? Okay, and this is the idea, the main idea of EduPlat. How does this work? Our mission is clear. We want to support teachers, we want to support school leaders, and any other one in the teaching environment. And I mean anyone, because for us, like a private tutor is also a teacher, like a teacher that is doing yoga lessons is also a teacher. In this Congress, we are here language teachers, but in the next Congress in Greece, there's going to be teachers from different subjects. Okay, so this is very important. From EduPlat, our mission is to help teachers. And why? Because teachers are changing the future. We teachers are changing the future for the next generation. Now, how are we doing that now? At the moment, we're doing that using the social media channels. We have, as well as these four, we also have TikTok that we incorporated recently. We're still working on it, but mainly we're using LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So if anyone here in Portugal or wherever you are connecting from, you have not yet followed our channels, please go to eduplat.org/social-networks. And then in that webpage, you will see the main channels in English, but you will also see specific channels in all of these 4 languages that we have partners. So you will see the channel for the Portuguese team, you will see the channel for the Greek team, you will see the channel for the Italian team, and you will see the channel for the Spanish teams. Now, obviously, you are more than welcome to join any of the channels. Ideally, join any channel of a language that you can understand and communicate with. But nowadays, with all of these online translators, it's true that anyone can connect with any of the channels. In my case, my Greek is limited to Kalimera, and pretty much that's about it. But obviously, I can understand Greek thanks to the help of artificial intelligence. So I could connect also to the Greek channels, find out what Greek teachers are publishing, are posting, and then eventually use the resources. Okay, and that's something that is very, very important. Obviously, I'm going to be interacting more in whatever languages that I manage to speak. But as language teachers, it's probably going to be a good idea to connect with other languages. At the moment, we only have these 5 languages, but very, very soon we're going to have more languages being added in. And this is very important. Many people go to eduplat.org and they see, okay, so where can I find the resources? At the moment, the resources have to be found through the social media, okay? And there is no search engine to find them. And this is something that at the end of this project, we're going to change. At the end of this project, we're going to make another version of EduPlat, and the platform will still be based with the social networks, but it will be easier for people to search resources. So say, for example, as a Spanish as a foreign language teacher, I will be able to find users that are posting resources to teach Spanish as a foreign language, or even to teach Spanish as a foreign language, say for advanced students, for children, for adults, etc. Okay. At the moment, the only way we have to do that is by browsing all the networks and trying to see if we connect with users that are posting that way. And this is how we, from EduPlat, we're helping all the teachers that are collaborating already, sharing their educational resources online. We have many teachers, for example, that are posting on Twitter. They send a post to a link to some of the resources. And what we do from EduPlat is we repost it. We evaluate it. In some cases, we've been giving people, we've congratulated people. we've retweeted the post, we've given our opinion, we've given links, and we have also obviously invited many of you to attend this Congress, because obviously presenting here, whether you are face-to-face here in Águeda in Portugal or online, is a better opportunity for people to ask questions about the resource that you're presenting. Now, we also giving prizes like this one. I put myself in, but this is a prize for October 27. I don't think I will be alive by then, but you know, this is just an example. So many of you have already received a certificate like this one. Obviously, this is something that we started mainly in the Spanish team quite a long time ago. We've been doing this for more than a year now. So many of you have received a certificate. This is something that is going to be starting in all the channels, in all the languages. And in this case, for example, it will be a prize for a teacher that is publishing in like using Twitter as a channel. But there is other teachers that are using, for example, Instagram. And then obviously we have other prizes for those teachers as well. And why are we doing that? Because when people are working, as you know, when you're working very, very hard, sometimes you get burnt out symptoms. Research shows that people don't get burnt out because they work too much. They get burnt out because they're not being given credit for what they're doing. And this is very, very important. So this is us giving credit to teachers that are sharing resources. In many occasions, they're doing that in an altruistic way. They're not getting any money from that. They're just doing it because they want to help colleagues. They want to help any teacher who is at the end helping those students by doing that. So congratulations to all of you. I've never had the certificate, at least not yet. I will have mine in 27, and I'm still alive, that's guaranteed. But you know, many of you will have that. You will eventually see that some teachers will publish certificates like this one, and basically we just list all the teachers that have been granted an award. Yeah. Now I'm going to use this session to take a 5-second break. We're not gonna take 5 minutes, because very, very soon we're going to start the presentations. So I would like you to use one of the main resources that we have, our brains. And obviously, because I've been talking a lot, and I need to talk a lot more, and there's all these presenters here, I want you to use your brains in a slightly more efficient way. And we're going to do a 5-second mindfulness activity. So all that I want you to do is, all of you, please, people here in Águeda, people around this table, people online, close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. You might stretch your arms. Eventually open your eyes. Please don't fall asleep. Yeah. Laughing is good. Well done. Laughing is also a very, very important resource. And now we're going to start talking about what this project is going to be about. We're starting this project with this Congress here in Águeda, Aveiro. And people that have managed to come here, we had a chance to see this wonderful street with umbrellas. Very, very interesting. Many of you might know, you are connected online. So what you do is you see the pictures that we're posting on the social media, which is also interesting. Now, this Congress is for language teachers. I know that there are some teachers that are registered for this Congress. They're not language teachers, but they're interested because they understand that a resource that we publish for a language teacher can be used also by a history teacher, or maybe by a math teacher even. That's okay. But we wanted to have the first Congress dedicated to language teachers. So many people connected are probably language teachers. But don't worry if you're not a language teacher, because next we're going to have a Congress in Athens, in Greece. Okay, this Congress is going to be based for teachers that are publishing resources that are getting the students to have fun while they're learning. Okay, and this is very important. Having fun, smiling is a very, very important resource. So any teacher from any subject, not just language teachers, obviously, history teachers, math teachers, science teachers, yoga teachers, any teacher can certainly connect with us. and please join if you haven't done so. Those of you who have already registered for any of the events, you don't need to register again. So say, for example, if now you think that you want to participate in the next Congress in January, next year, but it's just in a few weeks' time, you don't need to do anything. Basically, you will have pretty much the same way to connect. You will receive emails about the connection and everything. The only reason you might need to connect with us is if you want to collaborate and you want to like present an educational resource. If you haven't done it in this Congress, you watching us is a very interesting thing because you can see how we're doing it. And at the end of the day, it's just a matter of talking a little bit about your educational resource and then answering some of the questions. So I invite right now any teacher to please reply the email that you received when you joined this event. You should all have received one email saying, please come to Agata or please join this connection with YouTube. If you are participating as speakers or you have a premium access, then you have access to the Zoom. And same thing, you're going to receive these connections. But if you also want to present and you haven't done it in this Congress, please send an email, just reply the first email that you received, or reply to the email that someone from the teams sent you. Okay, so if your mother tongue is Portuguese, then obviously you reply to the Portuguese channel and so on. Okay. Now, after Greece, we're going to go to Molfetta, Italy. Again, obviously, this Congress will also be broadcasted online for those people that cannot attend Molfetta. Now, the Congress in Italy and the Congress in Spain, they are a little bit different. We're not going to be presenting educational resources mainly. The main reason we're doing these congresses is to talk about the future of the platform, to create templates to help teachers that are publishing educational resources, etc. We know, for example, that many teachers are using Canva, for example, to publish their resources. And obviously, within Canva, you have ways to collaborate, but we want to help that. We want to help teachers that maybe they want to create a resource using Canva, but they don't want to spend too much time. So we'll give you a template. The Greek team is in charge of that. We'll give you a template for Canva, for many of the platforms, for Google Slides, so that you can use them and create your resources, editing these templates, if you want. Obviously, this is something that we'll try to help you. In Spain, we'll also talk about the future of the platform, and we will present the new version, this version that hopefully you will be able to search resources more easily. Okay. But let's go back to Agata. Let's go back to this Congress. That, as I said, we're talking mainly about language resources. So what we're doing, yesterday, many of us arrived here to Agata, and we had some, talking to do and everything. We're right now at this point here, at the start of the broadcast, and now this presentation. Think that today they're going to be 4 main presentations. The first one is going to be done mainly in English because it's for everyone attending. In the second one, we will be dividing into 5 different channels, and you can choose which channel you want to attend. Whether you are here in Portugal or whether you are connecting online, you have these 5 possibilities. I understand that most people here in Portugal are Portuguese speakers, so they're probably going to stay in this very room. They're not going to move from here. They're going to have a presentation from in the Portuguese channel. Those of you who are online and you want to choose that Portuguese as a language, all that you have to do is go to the EduPlat website in Portuguese, go to the page where this information is published, and you will see at the end there is the link to the Skype channel for Portuguese. And the same is going to be for any of the other channels. So if you are in Greece, or you just happen to speak very good fluent Greek and you want to connect to the Greek channel, then again you go to eduplat.org. Eduplat.org/gr will be the site in Greek. Then you go to the program, you go again to the detail of the program of this first Congress, and then in that page, I think at the end, well, somewhere towards the end, you have all the links, including the link to access the YouTube channel, but you also have the links to access the Skype channels. We're going to use Skype for the second and for the fourth presentations today for all the channels, except that for English, during this next presentation, you don't need to move because we're going to continue broadcasting through via Zoom on the YouTube channel. So if the language that you want to use is English, then stay on the YouTube channel and you will be fine. You don't need to move. On the third, like at 3:30, and remember all of these times are in Portugal. So it's now 10:25 here in Portugal. At that time, we will have another session very similar to this one. It will be everyone together, people from all of these languages. We will be broadcasting in English. We chose English because I think it's the language that most people can communicate with. Although it was quite interesting that in the amongst the speakers in the roundtable, we started using Italian as the main language to communicate. So, you know, any language obviously more than welcome. But that third event today, that third roundtable will be also in English, and the way to connect will be the same. People here in Agata, just stay in this room, and then people online just connect the way you're connecting right now. Okay, and then at 5 p.m., remember GMT, so Portuguese time, and we will go back again to the different channels. In this occasion, we'll also have a Portuguese channel with the Skype, and also in this very room. We'll have a Greek channel, we'll have an Italian channel on Skype. The Spanish channel on that occasion will be broadcasted also in the YouTube, because we have many international teachers that are attending in Spanish from what we gather. So the fourth and last event today is going to be broadcasted in Spanish. So people that want to attend the event in English, then what you do the same. You go to the English website in EduPlat, you go to the main information, and then you connect to the Skype channel, and then you will do fine that way. Now, there's going to be obviously, sorry, I don't have it here because I have all of these Zoom screens like hiding it. But I think you can see from the main screen there, yeah. Well, it's a little bit small, but that's okay. You can see if you are connected online. Tomorrow we have also presentations at the same time. We're going to have just one main presentation in English, and then we'll go to the language channels in the same way through these Skype channels. And then the idea is that as well as presenting the main resources, we're going to be presenting prices. Now, at the moment, we only have confirmed prices from these two sponsors. So there's going to be 3 coaching sessions, both for individuals and for a team for free. And then it's going to be 30% off training courses for teachers. How do you get these prices? All that you have to do is send us an email and say, hey, I think I've done very, very well, and I would like to be awarded one of these prizes. Now, how can you get more points? And this will go also the same for this other sponsor that is giving us 1 week of vacation in this apartment in the Pyrenees, right between Spain and not Spain and Portugal, but between Spain and France. Okay, obviously people from all over the world are more than welcome to go to this apartment. Again, how do you get these prices and all the others that we're going to be presenting? All that you do is you let us know. Tomorrow we will be presenting some of them. So how can you get the prices? Obviously, if you are presenting, okay, then it's relatively easy because many people are going to say, oh, you know, this resource that you're presenting was very, very good, very, very helpful. Thank you very much. If you're attending this event, not as a speaker, but as a listener, then what you can do is talk. Not right now, but you can talk. I mean, you can talk right now, not using your microphones, please, not yet. But you can talk using the social media, any of the channels. So if you like Facebook and you are Italian, go to the Italian Facebook and start making comments on any of the presentations. And obviously, what type of comments are you guys going to make? You know, these teachers here are going to be helping you. Okay. By the way, Marius Nomicus, he couldn't come here to Portugal. At least he's not been able to arrive yet. So we have Concepcion here that is going to be taking his place, and she's going to also present. So what you do is, the idea is that you give feedback. You can also ask questions. Okay, and the way it's going to work is that they're going to be presenting. They're going to do what we call an elevator pitch presentation, very short, 1 minute to 3 minutes. If they go beyond the 3 minutes, I'll start going with my hand like this. I'll say, hey guys, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop, please. And then eventually we'll move on to the next one. But then after they present, we're going to take turns. First, I will be asking them some questions. Okay, and then eventually will be your turn. First, those of you in this round table to ask questions to each other, if you wish. And then people from the public here in Agata or anywhere in the world that you're connecting. How do you ask questions? Very easy. If you are connected on Zoom, eventually you're going to be able to use your microphone. And if you are connecting with the YouTube channel, then you can start typing your questions in the YouTube forum, and then people will eventually, someone will read them. Okay, it will be important that a team member of every channel, please gather all these questions and then forward them to the panel so that we can ask them. Okay, but it's also very, very important that you give feedback to all the teachers. Now, in EduPlat, we like the idea of using educational design thinking as a way to innovate in education. I'm not going to go through the methodology now, but I'm going to tell you one step that we call valuing. In teaching, often what we do is we evaluate, and students get very, very scared when we evaluate them. I'm sure that your students do as well. And why do they get scared? Because we're giving them a value of the work. That's not ideal, because sometimes that value might not actually adding value to the student, because it's just a number. And if that number is often below 5 out of 10, then that means fail probably, and that is certainly not giving much value to the student's work. So what we're trying to do, instead of using like from 0 to 10, we're not using numbers, we're using comments, and comments can go in any of these 3 sections. If you think that part of that resource or something specific about the resource you like it, then that's green light, go ahead. And the best way to motivate someone to continue doing something is saying, well done. And you can say, put a happy face, but please do more than that. You can say, I think this resource that anyone in the panel presented, whatever presentation, is particularly good. I think it can help my students of Portuguese as a foreign language, of Japanese as a main language, to develop their skills. And you can even comment on why. And I'm saying please do this openly, because often people praise privately and they criticize in public, sometimes like hidden under an anonymous account. We see this a lot in politics. Let's not do politics amongst those teachers. Let's do everything that is green light in public. You're more than welcome to contact teachers, and we have published in our social media like posters for every one of the teachers. We know that they have reposted them. Not all the teachers are in all the social media channels, obviously, but they should be at least in one. You can connect to these teachers directly and tell them how much you like their work. Well, ideally, if you like the work or something particular about the work, you should do that openly, okay? You should do that for everyone. And then the yellow light will be a question, and maybe you can say, oh, I'm not sure if I can use this with my beginners students. Or you might ask the teacher, have you ever used it with beginners? Because my English as a foreign language students cannot do this sort of maybe use this activity that you've planned. And maybe there's going to be some other teachers, not just the author of that resource, answering your question, says, yes, I've used them with my Spanish as a foreign language students, and it works well if you do this, if you do that. that is collaborating. And then finally, if you think that something just doesn't work, I think the best thing is just to send a direct message to that teacher, because maybe that way is a good thing, that that person can correct if they want to correct. That's giving feedback, constructive criticism in private. Anyway, so before we start now properly, I'm going to say obrigado, muito obrigado for everyone attending here. Efkaristo, grazie, gracias. And with this, we're going to start back to the panel here. So I'm going to start with Alexandra here on my left. And she's going to do the first presentation. Remember, you can connect with your Google Slides, with PowerPoint, with your video, if you prepare a video. When you present, remember, presenters, you need to click on the arrow. I'm saying this to everyone because there are other presenters for other channels later on. You click on the arrow and you make sure that if you're presenting also audio, that you select the audio as well, okay? I know that some of you are presenting videos and then you're talking, and then just turn on your microphone and then you can do it. We're gonna do like this. We're gonna start with Alexandra, and we will go all the way around the table in the order that they sit in here, which is not quite the same as you can see in this presentation, but it doesn't matter, okay? So, Alexandra, please, you may start. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for being here and for being there at home watching us. So I'll be sharing my resource with you. I think I'm going to use my speaker so that they can listen.
Yeah.
Because, okay, let me see.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing so that way it's easier for you to share.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, while Alexandra is doing that, I'm going to say thank you to all the teachers that are already posting in the Zoom connection. And thank you also those of you who are posting about yourselves. This is the first activity I told you to do while I was talking. I did a little bit more than 3 minutes, obviously. And then please continue doing that. I know that some of you are already exchanging messages. That's fine. That's fine. That's the way to connect. Yeah, you can post anything you want in any of these two. If you are in Zoom, maybe it might be a good thing for you to connect simultaneously with the YouTube channel, because that way you can see what's going on, okay? Now, so the order we're going to follow is going to be the way they sit in here. So first is going to be Alexandra, then Eduardo, then Nico, and then Concepcion at the end. And they're going to be presenting a short presentation, and then we will be asking questions.
It was here. Just a minute. I can't go there directly. So. This works. So, yes.
Okay.
Finally, this is it.
Okay.
3
go.
minutes and 7 seconds. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
go. No problem.
Hello. Today I will be talking about a resource that I commonly use in my English and German lessons to teach vocabulary. You know that a student needs to encounter a new word 10 to 16 times to effectively
listen, no.
learn.
I can hear it, so you're
Probably
broadcasting
this is
to
the
the
reason
people.
why
The people
learning
online
new
can see.
vocabulary is so demanding
What you
and
might want to
boring
do is
for the students.
broadcast it and then.
So we need to help them and transform our
Otherwise,
lessons
people
into
here,
something
like,
motivating
they're not
and
gonna be able to
appealing.
hear you.
And using games has proved to be the most efficient way of teaching because students love having
No,
fun,
you have to turn off
winning,
the
and being
audio in your
competitive.
video. And that
When
way
we
they
use
can
games
just
in the
hear you, because
classroom,
otherwise
we
it's going
not
to be
only
confusing
transform
for
our
them to do
classroom
both
in
at
a
the same
pleasant
time.
place, but we also democratize it,
Yeah, it's
as we
easier, yeah.
give weaker students the opportunity to shine. The resource I will be sharing with you is called Double, and I
Sorry,
believe that most
the
of you
audio is
have
still on.
already heard about it and even played it.
Yeah, I can hear your
Originally,
video.
this game has 55 cards with 8
No, I mean, in
pictures
your
of
video, you
varying
can turn
size
off the
each.
volume
These
in
cards
your
are
video.
designed so that there is only one matching symbol
Or
between
just,
each and every possible pair of
no,
cards.
as in,
And it's up to the players to find these
because
matching
otherwise the
symbols.
people that are online,
It
they're
sounds
gonna
simple, doesn't it? But when you try to do this at speed, it becomes surprisingly difficult. Double can be played between 2 and 8 players. I decided to adapt this game to my
Sorry, little
classroom,
technical
and
problems,
depending
it
on the
happens when
level
you're
I'm
live.
working with, I use different templates. For example, with lower level students, I have a deck of 13 cards, and each card has 4 pictures. Whereas for advanced students, I use a deck of 31 cards, and in this case, each card has 6 pictures.
Yes. So sorry.
Hello. Today I will be talking about a resource that I commonly use in my English and German lessons to teach vocabulary. You know that a student needs to encounter a new word 10 to 16 times to effectively learn it. Probably this is the reason why learning new vocabulary is so demanding and boring for the students. So we need to help them and transform our lessons into something motivating and appealing. And using games has proved to be the most efficient way of teaching because students love having fun, winning, and being competitive. When we use games in the classroom, we not only transform our classroom in a pleasant place, but we also democratize it, as we give weaker students the opportunity to shine. The resource I will be sharing with you is called Double, and I believe that most of you have already heard about it and even played it. Originally, this game has 55 cards with 8 pictures of varying size each. These cards are designed so that there is only one matching symbol between each and every possible pair of cards. And it's up to the players to find these matching symbols. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But when you try to do this at speed, it becomes surprisingly difficult. Double can be played between 2 and 8 players. I decided to adapt this game to my classroom, and depending on the level I'm working with, I use different templates. For example, with lower level students, I have a deck of 13 cards, and each card has 4 pictures. Whereas for advanced students, I use a deck of 31 cards, and in this case, each card has 6 pictures. So what I do is I divide a class in groups of 2, 3, or 4 students maximum, and give each group a set of cards. After shuffling the cards, one player puts a card facing up and takes another from the pile. The first player to name the matching picture wins the card. The player with more cards wins the game. For example, with my German students, I decided to practice the parts of the human body. So first, I asked them just to find the picture in common in the 2 cards and to name it in German. Afterwards, I asked them to start using the gender as they named the picture. Finally, when I taught them more vocabulary, I asked them to build short sentences, like for example, I have a backache, ich habe Rückenschmerzen, or my back aches, mein Rücken tut weh. This game can be used to practice any vocabulary you want, according to what you are teaching. And you can also use it to practice grammar. I really find it to be an excellent tool because, as you can see, it is very simple, fun and easy, which, in my opinion, is the key for successful lessons.
Thank you. Muito obrigado, Alexandra. Thank you. So we're now going to start. So now, after this, remember, everyone in the public, you can do what I'm doing, get a notebook, start writing notes about Alexandra's presentation, because we will ask her questions later. That way, we have a chance to hear all the presentations. If you can stop presenting, that way it's easier for Eduardo to present his presentation. I mean, you can connect multiple screens, but it's easier. Okay, so then we're going to do the same. We're going to take a 5-second mindfulness game, And we're going to close our eyes because we want to also pay full attention to whatever Eduardo has to say. Okay, so ready? Close your eyes. Stretch. Smile. Very interesting, you know. This is something that is not just about teaching. My cat does that very often. You know, if my cat does that, it's probably because it's good for her. So it might be also very, very, very good for you. Yeah. There's one button called like, yeah, stop sharing, and then eventually, yeah, perfect. Okay, now so it's Eduardo's time now. Eduardo, please start presenting. Okay.
Do you listen to me? Yes. I hope so.
Let me see. Okay, good.
I think so. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Okay. So do you see my screen? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, you can see very, very well. Perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to try to do 3 minutes because for me I speak a lot, so I will
Okay,
try.
starting now, Eduardo. Go.
Yes. So, what tool can you use to help students learn in traditional French accents without realizing it? Okay, so I am a French teacher, so I'm going to show you a little bit the tool Edpuzzle, okay, in order to learn, for example, the French accents, okay? So I'm going to show you an example with Edpuzzle. Okay. Perhaps I'm going to share with the sound because I think it's without the sound. Yes. Now. Okay. Now normally you are going to listen the sound. Okay. So I'm going to show you a little bit. She's a journalist, also, of course, speaking. Okay. And I have done this with my students. Okay, with my French students. So. I don't know you listen.
I don't think they can hear now.
No. Okay. Okay. Well, it's she's speaking, and we send to our students some questions. Okay, this is Edpuzzle applications. So it's very interesting because we can practice the oral comprehension. Because they are listen to the journalist, and after this we can do some we can say both of questions, okay, the type of questions. For example, closed questions like this. On va parler sur quoi? We are going to speak about which aspect, okay, which subject. But also we can do open questions, and this is very, very interesting because we can try to think about to do some to develop the thought, okay, develop thoughts, develop the way we think we learn languages, okay. So as we are not able to listen, I'm going to show you some videos, okay. With these videos, photos, you can see my students trying to do this, okay, in real lessons. Okay. Now perhaps we are going to listen, I think so. Okay, do you see my lesson? Is my French bilingual section, okay? And they are trying to do this, okay? To do this exercise with Edpuzzle, okay? Do you see the screen, okay? And you see their hands like this. Because they love this kind of tools because it's very funny. It's very funny because you see, it's wonderful to see a class, to see lesson with all or a lot of students with their hands like this, okay, the hands up. And it's we can do this with this application because it's really, I recommend you to do this is to use Edpuzzle applications to in linguistic lessons, okay? Because it's very easy. It's only to take YouTube's video, okay? And with our mail, okay, with our Google's address mail, we can do this, okay? And I'm going to show you the last video, and I finish my presentation. Yes, 4 minutes.
Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, you see, they pay attention to the screen.
Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? C'est quoi votre question, madame? Je ne comprends pas ce que vous voulez dire. Quelqu'un a-t-il une question au fond?
Well, the subject was the French accents and also the glottophobia, okay? So this problem of the accents that, you know, that in France is the problem, no? Paris accent versus the South accent, etc. So we have done like an interview, and we have thought a lot of this subject, and we have learned finally. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay, so now, Eduardo, if you can start the presentation.
Yes, of course.
And then that way Nico can connect his more easily. Okay, same thing again. So remember, we're going to take a 5-second break, because obviously we liked what Eduardo had to say, but we also going to enjoy Nico better if we take just 5 seconds to close our eyes. And then we open them again, ready to hear what Nico has to tell us. Thank you, Nico. So you're more than welcome to start. Okay, sorry, Nicola, it looks like they cannot hear you. So if you can put your microphone on, and eventually, I guess later you're going to be sharing your presentation. Thank you, Filippo.
Okay, I think it's okay now. Yes, and also for this reason, I try to find game method, especially for the class test, because in Italy, every 4 months, we have 3 written tests in class and 2 oral. And for this reason, I show this video. All videos are making by my students. So for this reason, it's not very high level. Okay, 1 minute and I share the monitor. Okay. Sorry. I have a problem with the share. Oh, I have to do the meet and come back again.
Oh, I see.
I can share the video, sorry.
If little technical problems that we saw. Nico, if you think that Concepcion, would you like to present now, and then we go back to Nico later? Yeah, is that okay, Nico? Yeah. So sorry for the technical problems. Nico is going to be solving them now. He's ready. Okay. Sorry, Concepcion. No problem. Okay, no problem, no problem. It was not as bad as I thought. Okay, yeah, he's sharing now. Excellent. Okay, Nico. Thank you. We can see, yeah.
All the question?
No, yes.
Yes. In this way, the students can repeat the wrong question, and I can see if they learn about their mistake. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Grazie, Nico. Okay, so again, same if you can, thank you. Now Concepcion will be able to start setting it up. And once he does that, what are we going to do? 5-second break. Well done. Yeah, I can see there are people doing it. And now we go ahead. Yes. Students like this too. I will try to do a little bit of mindfulness with your students. And mine, they seem to like it, but eventually they go like, they think the mindfulness is just about sleeping. And no. Mindfulness is about concentrating. It's about being with the present. Yeah? Carpe diem, as they used to say a few thousand years ago. Okay. So whenever you're ready, Concepcion, yeah, you can present, you can share your presentation. Remember to put your, now with your microphone on. Perfect. Your ears.
Hello, good morning to all. My proposal is PNL in the classroom. So don't say that you can. First, I want to present to me who I am. I am a teacher, but I am pianist. Two, I am opposition teacher. So I think it's interesting to the people because usually say that I can speak English, I can do that. That is usually that we find in the classroom. So I work with a pyramid. That is the pyramid by deals. This is neurolinguistic programming. And with this pyramid, we work the beliefs. Here we have 7 didactic units along the year. The first unit is about the motivation, but usually they don't want study. When this is passed, we work unit 2. Where do I think so? In this unit, they understand because they make a thing and don't make another thing. The Unit 3 is about My Time is Night. It's very important that our people blocking her time at the time not very productive is being. The next one is Goodbye Negative Feeling. Is they are exercise with focus to have negative, positive feelings. Then I control my mind. Here we work limited belief. Outward, that's mind that usually is auto-sabotage. We usually say to ourselves, I can do that, I can speak English, I can nothing. So it's very important to work this. And when the year is end, they decide their life. And in this moment, they really decide, I want to make this, and I don't want to make another thing. So with neuro-linguistic programming, I think it's very important for pupils to work along progressive, along here, and so change her mind. So this is my work. Thank you very much for.
Thank you. Thank you, Concepcion. Okay, so now it's time to. I'm not gonna share any screen nowadays. So what I'm gonna do is that way you can see the faces, those of you who are online more easily. Because what we're gonna do now, as I said, we're gonna go round. Hopefully, we will be able to do it a few times. Okay. Choose if you can just hold on. Don't put your camera yet. Later, because that way we can have cameras and microphones as soon as you start asking questions. So first, I'm going to go round and I'm going to ask all teachers questions. Okay, and then they will answer the questions. Okay. And so obviously I'm going to use the same order. I'm going to start with Alexandra, then I'll go to Eduardo, then Nico, then Concepcion. And then while we're doing that, while I'm asking them questions and they answering, okay, you guys can also think of questions. Whether you are here in Ageda in public, you can obviously put your hands up and ask the question. If you are using the Zoom connection, you can just put your microphone and your webcam so that you can ask questions to any of the speakers. And also, if you are using the YouTube channel, remember that I can just type your questions and then someone will forward them to us in the panel. Now, I'm going to do the same order as before, Alexandra, Eduardo, Nico, Concepcion. But then when it gets to your turn, you can ask questions to one of the teachers or maybe to two of the teachers. And you just say, this is a question for Alexandra, or this is a question for whoever you want to ask a question to, okay? And then it will just go like this until more or less 11:45 local time. That is when we will start the little break, okay? So let's start, Alexandra. Now, I really like the idea of using games. I think it's very, very important. Obviously, remember that next month we have a Congress in Athens dedicated to gamification, dedicating to a little bit of, these, but in any other subject. I also like the way you said about democracy. Yeah, using democracy, like, everyone participates. So my first question, and I'm going to ask you a few, and you can choose which one you want to answer, is about when you use this democratic method in your lessons with teenagers, because I know that you have teenagers in your, don't they go crazy? Don't they use democracy, like, just to shout, to play? And don't you feel that sometimes they go away from the learning and playing to just playing and not learning at all because they're just having fun and making jokes about things that are not related to the subject? So that's my first question, but I'm going to ask you a few more and you can choose. I really like the idea of using double, and my kids, they use it. They use it, but just to play. So that's good. You're using a game that they like to because they have fun. And I very much like the way you created cards so that you can teach any vocabulary that you want to teach. Animals, then you get animals in your cards. And now I wonder if you have templates to use so that, you know, because there are many teachers here that I'm sure that they want to use your idea, but maybe they're not very good drawing. Who gets to draw these things? And if you have templates that you can share with the others, because maybe other teachers want to use your cards to teach their students English or German or any other language. And the last question, the third one, is about differentiation. Obviously, in language teaching and learning, we have some students that they just grasp what we're talking about very, very quickly. But we do have also students that struggle. And obviously, if we're using the same materials, the same games, don't you feel that there are some students that are participating very quickly and the others don't get a chance? And how do you do to accommodate so that the slow learners can also get to play and have fun? And the fast learners are maybe doing something more difficult or, you know, or any other way. Huh? So 3 questions you can answer, any of the 3, a combination of the 3, take 3-5 minutes maximum, please, so that we can ask questions to the audience. Okay.
Okay, first of all, I think that, like you've said, I've started playing double with my kids. I loved it, and I thought we can put this inside the classroom. And then when I started Googling for it, someone had already made a template, and I've used it, and I'm sharing here with you. Okay, so it wasn't me who got to know the technique, because it's mathematics. Double has to do with mathematics and all the thing of all cards having one matching symbol and not repeating the symbols. But of course, that I'll be delighted to share what others have already shared with me too. And I've adapted what I've seen. When you mentioned the fact that they can get really excited with the game, yes, that's a fact, because kids love playing and they love winning. But we have to settle the rules first. And they know if they don't accomplish what we ask them to do, then we'll stop.
Yeah.
And I think it works. They understand it very well. So, and they know if in the first lesson that they play the game, they don't follow the rules, I take the cards back and they don't play anymore. So next time when I bring the cards for them to play, they know that they have to follow the rules. The other thing that you've mentioned, which is very important, the fact that we have different students inside the classroom with different skills. What I usually do is, like I've showed in the video, is that I have a template with fewer pictures, and I can give those to weaker students. I have the other template with more pictures. I can give it to advanced students, and I can also ask them different things. I gave the example of my German lesson. And first, I can ask the students just to keep on identifying the vocabulary, just a word. And with the others, I can ask them to build sentences. I can ask them to do something different. And that way, it is motivating. But I also think it's very important to have lower students working with more advanced students, because they can help each other. Okay. And I usually do that. And if I can put 2 playing as a team, the lower level student with the more advanced one, and they are working together to win. And I think it's also very good.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I've answered all the
questions.
Well done,
you did. Well done. Muito obrigado, Alessandra. Just to like recap, yeah. So if I understood well, basically, I really like the idea. At the end of the day, the power what we teachers have when we're teaching students with fun is that we can take it away. So as Alexandra say, if they're not behaving properly, then we say, no more fun. We go back to a regular lesson. Please, next time, behave better. I really like the idea of differentiating in groups, sometimes groups in different levels, using cards with the different levels. And obviously, this means that there is a lot of work. And if you could share these templates on the social media, not right now, but eventually maybe later on today.
I forgot to mention, you said it, we can adapt this to whatever we want, okay? With first class students, year one, you can just have the letters
Yeah.
when you're teaching the alphabet. And you can play double just to identify, because we know that sometimes students have difficulties in distinguishing E, I, A.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a good way of practicing. You can work with numbers, vocabulary about food, about clothes, whatever.
Thank
Okay,
you.
imagination is the
Yeah.
limit.
So this is getting excited. So the limit is imagination, but it's also time. So if that's okay, Alexandra, if you can share later on.
Yes, yes.
So Alexandra will share in the social media. So remember, guys, go to eduplat.org, follow our social media. We will be publishing it. And obviously, she doesn't have time to do it now, but some of you do. So if you already have templates, like the ones Alexandra is going to publish later on, please go live now, go to any of the social media, tag us, and then eventually we can get this conversation going on already as we continue. Okay, thank you very much. So now we're going to go to Eduardo. And I know that you have your hand up, Harold, but we're going to do questions from the public later. So first is me, sorry. So I'm going to ask questions to everyone, and that way everyone has the chance. Okay. So don't worry, Harold. You will get the chance to ask anyone in the panel your questions. Yes. So now, Eduardo. Now, I don't know if you noticed, Eduardo said he's a French teacher, but he's a Spanish French teacher. And I've been talking to him in English, and his English accent changed. And his English accent turned to French accent when he was talking about something to do with his French lessons. Very interesting. So his brain is really deep into the teaching French. Well done. Now, I really like the idea that you use open and closed questions. So my first question is going to be open, and I'm asking you, which one do you feel that works better with students? You see, like closed questions, they can do multiple choice, and then they can use any of the multiple choice software to, like, you know, be competitive. Or is it more like open questions they can answer anything they want? That's my first question. Now, and then again, obviously, some of these questions might be difficult, some of the questions might be easy. How do you differentiate? How you can get students of different abilities to participate and get engaged in your activity? And then finally, the last question I'm asking you is whether you feel, because in the video that you showed us, they were playing like individually. Have you tried these working them in teams? And if you have, which one do you feel works better? Them working in teams or them working individually? Okay, your turn now. Answer,
Okay.
please. Whichever question.
Yes, I'm going to try to answer all. In your question, open or closed questions, I think that it's very interesting to mix, okay? To mix all of them. Because, for example, if we do only open questions, it's a little bit difficult because it's all the time they have to think, they have to think about the question, but perhaps they don't know the answer, okay? So in my case, I think that I'm going to link to the second question. If it's which kind of question is easier, I think that closed questions are easier, okay? Because it's like in DELF, you know, that is the French certifications, okay? And when the questions are closed, from my point of view, are easier than the other, okay? But this is because of that if you propose only open questions, closed questions, is very easy, okay? Normally, I start the introductions is with a open question in order to think a little bit, to analyze the previous knowledge, okay? And after this, 3, 4, 5 questions, closed questions, because are easier, but you know if they have understood or not the questions and the answer, okay? And the same thing to close, to finish the activity. I try to think about 1 or 2 open questions in order to know, to analyze if they have understood all the lesson, okay? And I think that they have answered 2 of 3, up to 3. And 3, I remember, is individual or group teams, no? We can say. As you have explained very, very well, it depends on the behavior, okay? If the behavior is good, okay, I love, and they love to work in teams, yes, of course. But if the behavior is not good, I tell them, okay, we stop here and we change the activity. We do some verbs or something like this, that it's boring. It's very boring for the students, verbs or these kind of things. But we have to do, but because we must know the verbs in order to know how to speak, how to, yes, so to know a lesson, no? To know our languages. So I do this. It's like a mix. I love to mix the individual and the work teams.
Okay, thank you. Merci. Gracias, Eduardo. So very, very good. Obviously, I didn't ask him about sharing this because I know that he's already doing that. So again, if you follow EduPlat social media, remember you will be able to get access to Eduardo's ideas and resources. And he's going to be publishing many, many more. Okay, so we're going back to Nico. Okay. Remember, guys, that while I'm asking questions, you can think about questions that you're gonna ask later. Harry, if you don't mind, if you can turn off your camera, that way they get to see only the panel. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Nico, yeah. So obviously, Nico is an Italian teacher, and he teaches Italian as a mother tongue. So for Italian students that are learning Italian, and if those students are interested in cooking, if they're interested in things that they're going to do in the jobs, in the near future jobs, obviously learning Italian might not be the favorite subject. We all have that. I'm sure that amongst language teachers, we all have some students that are very, very motivated. Yesterday here in Agata, I was talking to Alexandra's students, and they have Alexandra. Some of them, they have her for as a German teacher and as an English teacher. And it's interesting that sometimes some of them, they like her better as a German teacher, and others as an English teacher. And it's to do with not with the teacher, but also with the subject. So I'm very, very glad, Nico, that you approach your idea, I think, what to do so that they get motivated. I also like the idea about you using peer review, so them reviewing each other's work, I think is very, very good. But then again, do they actually get to grade the other students fairly, or do they just give good grades if it's a friend of theirs, or bad grades if it's someone that they don't want to see near them ever again? So how do you actually evaluate the fairness of their the evaluation? That's my first question. And then also you mentioned that you're using the Google modules, and somehow you connect it to Kahoot, yeah? Now, for those teachers that have not heard of Kahoot, I think most people have already, it's excellent. I mean, you can use it for quizzes. There are other platforms that are very similar for quizzes. But maybe if you want to show us, how do you actually connect these two? How do you manage to go in this transition? And how does it help your students to participate and engage into this peer review and eventually learning Italian? Okay, thank you, Nico. You please put your microphone on. Yeah, otherwise they cannot hear you from very, very far away.
So about the motivation, I try to explain to my students. Then there are a lot of kind of, for example, restaurant. No, we can go in a pizzeria, or we can go in a Michelin star restaurant, and also know the languages or the method to approve with the clients is the difference, no? Because if you go in a pizzeria, yes, it's friendly, but if you go in a star Michelin restaurant, it's different. And also know the language. If you go in a restaurant Michelin, I think then every maitre know Italian, English, French, and these are different. And this can motivate my students to learn also the language, also if they practical subject. About model Google and Kahoot, so it's so easy, because also if the program can't speak each one other, but by module you can have a report, and it's my work, about this report and transform the result of the report in Kahoot. It's important because before the Kahoot, I have, for example, 10 mistakes for question. After Kahoot, I hope the mistake low because the students repeat the question, and I hope they learn the mistake.
Thank you. Grazie, Nico. Okay, now, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to do something later, Nico. I think it will be very, very good for many of the teachers. You don't have time to do it now, but if you don't mind, I'm doing a video showing this, how you connect your Google with your Kahoot, and put it on your social media. I think it will be very, very useful. Eventually, we can, republish it in EduPlat. So again, when do you think you can do this, Nico? I mean, I'm no pressure. When do you think you can publish this video? In a couple of days, or?
I think today.
Today, wow, Nico's doing this today, guys. So please join, follow EduPlat social media, and eventually you will see that. And Nico will publish this, if possible, in English, so that everyone can access that. You might also publish it. Yes, please. Yeah, thank you. Eduardo is offering to do the same. So there's going to be lots of posts in the social media in the few coming days. So it's not just going to be Nico and Eduardo, but maybe others. You guys can all do the same. Okay. Now, remember, I know that people here they gain anxious to ask questions. Oh, I got lots of light now. I have lots of light here shining. Remember that in a few minutes, you guys are going to be able to participate asking questions as well. So we'll need a little bit more quiet here. Sometimes teachers, they forget that their students, when the students are too loud, it's sometimes a bit not convenient. You teachers also can be very, very loud, remember? Okay, so please keep it a little bit low. Now, so we're going to move on now. A question to Concepcion, and I cannot see her face because I have I have the light that is shining on my face now. I need to see her face. I have to say that Concepcion was very, very brave to participate in this roundtable. She was meant to participate only in a roundtable at 5 p.m. local time in the Spanish channel, and she teaches many different. She trains many different teachers, and not specifically in language teaching. Her English is a little bit limited, so that's why we need her to be able to understand. Remember, Concepcion, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I will be able to tell you that in Spanish. And by the way, for all the teachers, when she talked about the neuro-linguistic programming, the acronym in English is NLP. P and L will be in Spanish, Italian, probably Portuguese, even Greek with the characters. If you Google that, you will find quite a lot of information. Yeah. Now, I really like your presentation. I presume that you use Canva. Yeah, did you use Canva? Yes. And I like the Dills pyramid. And then, so the first thing I'm going to ask you, if that's okay, that you share your Dills pyramid. Not just the picture, but if you don't mind, even the Canva, if you don't mind people editing it. Remember that in EduPlat, you choose when you share your resources. Well, in the world, you choose when you as a teacher share your resources, if you want them to use it the way you've done it, or you don't mind them editing. So it looks like Concepcion doesn't mind us editing, so thank you. And then now my main question is, do you have any evidence that your pyramid is helping teachers, whether it's your own personal evidence or evidence that there is in the research? Okay?
Okay, I try to
thank you.
Answer. This pyramid, I try with my pupils. I use it with my pupils. The first day they came to class, I can do that. I have motivation. I am retired. The first day was horrible. And one more, no more. 1 month later, motivation, no bored, more happy, better relation with other people. The transformation is incredible. So I see, I have people that we are now 8 or 9 months. 8 or 9 months working, and the transformation is incredible. All people, no one or others, all people.
Okay, thank you. Muchas gracias, Concepción. Okay, so I'm gonna move, I think this way is a little bit better. Okay, so obviously we have to adapt to the situation, and right now I cannot change the sun where the sun is, so I need to move myself, yeah? Okay, so now this is the time that everyone here in Portugal, everyone connected, and is gonna be asking questions. Please remember that we all want to ask questions. You can ask one question to any of the 4 teachers in the panel. So just put your hand up in turns. Once I say yes, you can go ahead and ask the question. You turn on your microphone and you turn on your webcam, and then you just go ahead and ask the question. If you don't have questions and you are connected with the Zoom, then what I'm asking you to do, please go on the YouTube channel as well, see if there is anyone asking interesting questions, and then you ask them yourself. You say, Patricia in the YouTube channel is asking this. And obviously, those of you who are connected to the YouTube channel, please start writing the questions. And remember to say, if you're asking a question to anyone in the panel or to one of the teachers in particular, okay? So go ahead, anyone please put your hands up if you want to ask questions to any of the teachers in the panel. I know that Harry was very, very, very keen. Oh, we have one question here from the public. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. I think that the students get very engaged in playing games, especially this one, because it's not very demanding. And when we teach them vocabulary and then we give them a game to practice the vocabulary they've learned, they find it more interesting than just repeating, writing, doing exercises. So they really get engaged in what they are doing. So I think it's a very good tool to teach vocabulary in any language. We can adapt it to French, to Spanish, to English, German, any language at all. Okay.
Thank you. Obrigado. There's one question also here from the public. Okay, so I'm going to repeat it because I've just realized that maybe you cannot hear the public from those of you connected. So Francesco here asked, and I guess this is a question to anyone in the panel, so you guys anyone can answer. So how can we control the behavior? How we can control when we're playing games? Okay, who would like to answer that Francesco's question? Alessandra, okay. Muito obrigado. Go.
Yes, like I've told a while ago, we have to settle the rules with them. Okay. Sometimes I see that my students prefer speaking in English, in Portuguese, sorry, to explain the other what they have to do. And they know that's the first rule, no Portuguese in the classroom. So they have to speak English only. And if they don't do it, okay, we stop the game. Like I told you, that was a rule. You didn't follow my rule. So today we are not going to play it anymore. If you behave properly, next lesson, we'll do it again. Okay, I think that if we settle the rules and if we tell them what we have to do and we practice it, because sometimes we say, oh, if you do this, I'll do that. And they don't behave properly and we do nothing. So I think that we have to be, we have to do what we say. So if I tell them that they are not going to play any longer if they don't follow the rules, I have to put that in practice. Even though I can see that only one student didn't manage to do what I asked and all the others were engaged. Okay, but they understand.
Okay, thank you. Yes, obviously, this is very, very important. If we set up some rules and we don't apply them, then eventually they're going to notice and they're going to go wild. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier, it's very important that we differentiate. There might be some group of students that we can do some activities, but not others, okay? So back to the questions. Remember that you guys in the panel, you can also ask each other questions. You're very close to each other. And anyone in the Zoom connection, please remember, just put your hand up. I don't see many hands up. And remember, you can just put your cameras. Okay, Harry, you can see your hand up and your camera. Now your turn, Harry. Go ahead, ask question.
Check, can you hear me?
I cannot hear. Sorry, yeah. Can you put the microphone, your loudspeakers, because yours is going to be better.
Okay, I check again. Can you hear me now?
Oh, 1 second. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go straight to Alexandra. I played Dobble too. I love the game. It's awesome. How many do you have?
Oh, that again last year. So, but I have one for school subject, parts of the human body.
Alexandra, you're muted.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you. Okay.
There you are.
I was saying that I've started playing it with my students. It was probably by this time of the year. So, but I've started doing some of the games with different vocabulary, food, animals, parts of the human body, school objects, what I miss? Oh, diseases with, I've got a flu, I've got a headache, something like that. Well, but I think that when we are teaching, sometimes I think, oh, probably for this topic that I'm working, Dobble would be great. And then I'll go home, look for some pictures on the internet and try to build a game. And when I bring the game, the students get really excited. And they know I just show the game when I come inside the classroom, and they know that in that day they are going on that day they are going to play it, and they stay very focused on what we are doing until we play the game. And usually we play the game for 10-15 minutes maximum. So at the end of the lesson, as a reward, it can be used as a reward for their behavior and then to practice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Harry.
to put on a number, you have 10, 20 games of Dobble?
No, 10, not 20.
10
no,
minutes.
10.
How long does it take you to make one game?
Oh, I don't know. If it's easy to find the pictures, it doesn't take too long. Okay, but then I have to print them and I have to laminate them and to cut them so that I can use them many times. But if the subject or the topic I'm looking for is more difficult to get pictures, then it takes longer. But it's
okay.
I think it's not very difficult for us teacher to adapt it to any kind of topic we are working with our students. And especially the ones, the decks with just 4 pictures, that's even easier.
Now, if you wanted to share your Dobble game with human body parts, and there's a shoulder, a knee, and the eyes, nose, mouth, but I would also like the inner organs on them, like the heart or the lungs.
Yes.
What then?
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Then, like, my point is, if you share the resource as you have it, someone else might need additional vocabulary.
Okay, you can change it because it's a template, and you want to change the nose for yarn, and you know that in every card where you have the nose, you'll take the nose out and put another part. Okay, it's not difficult. I'll share the template like I have. And then you just have to change the pictures, okay, accordingly. But you can do whatever you want, okay. whatever pictures you have, it's not difficult to use. See, once you have the template, it's not difficult. Okay.
I know. I have a few myself. I know how it works. I'm very happy you showed this today because I also want to do a more sophisticated version of educational Dobble.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, probably like the original one with 55 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, various different versions, maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you,
No,
Harry.
thank you.
As soon as you have your versions, Harry, post them, and from EduPlat, it will be a pleasure to disseminate them. I know what you're thinking. I can see through your glasses, and I can see that you're gonna create something that we can program and get them out. Thank you very much. As soon as you do, remember, share your resources. I will be more than happy to help you so that more teachers can get them. More questions, please. Thank you, Harry. Someone else, remember, please, if anyone can check if there are any teachers asking questions in the YouTube, okay, as well. And then anyone else, please, Harry, if you don't mind turning off your camera so that way we can have all the teachers. You can ask another question later as well. Oh, you have another question? Okay, yeah, thank you. So any teacher, please, put your hand up, or just if you are in Zoom, you can just turn on your camera. Remember, teachers of the panel, that is also good that you ask each other questions. If not, I might ask some more questions. Is that a hand up, Eduardo? No, that was just to get your bottle. Okay, hands up. Now is the time to talk, guys. Now is the time to talk. Oh, we have a question here. Okay, if you can say the question, and then we will repeat it. Or whoever the question is addressed to, please repeat the question, because people online might not be able to hear the voice. Oh, excellent. Good teachers. Woohoo!
So before, in my school, we have a problem with phone because some students use the mobile phone in a wrong way, and some of they are, no, it's okay. And some of them receive also disciplinary provision.
Behavior problems.
Yes. And for this reason, at the beginning of the lesson, we have a box on the desk, and every student leave the phone and can pat only at the end of the lesson. If there are a teacher, if there aren't a teacher, they try to pat. But I'm not, I think it's not the wrong way to use the phone, because we have students that are native technology, no? Because they born with the phone and they use better than me, or I think a lot of us. And I think that it's important to use the phone in a correct way. And also with the pandemic, a lot of informatic resources for teaching, we meet and we use. One of these is Kahoot, because, for example, I don't know Kahoot before the pandemic, and or also Canva, or also SlideShare and or Slide Player. And try to learn this correct way to the students for use the phone. I think it's an important thing, not also for the school, but also for the life. For example, I have the students of the years, the last year in high school, and
Continue.
okay.
Now they can see your face better.
And there are serious problems with cyberbullies. And I think it's not correct for things that phone doesn't exist, because also when the students go out of the school, they start to chat, start to Insta. And this, I think the rule of the school is also to explain in which way we can use in the correct way the phone.
Thank you. Grazie, Nico. Yeah. Well, thank you. Now, if remember that EduPlat is also about sharing ideas, and I'm sure that many teachers online, many teachers here have their own ideas about how they have tried to manage the classroom when they add technology. And we know that, yes, I agree with Nico. I think mobile phones should be used in the classroom, but there is, there are difficulties and how to control. There are obviously programs that you can check what they're doing, and it's kind of complicated. Any ideas like this, please publish them, and then again, we will try to disseminate your ideas so that other teachers can benefit from them, okay? Remember, you can do that, just tagging us on the post, and then we'll try to disseminate it, and please, the others can comment to that. Now, we have just a few more minutes, so maybe we can squeeze in one or two more questions, and then eventually we'll have a little break, and we will go onto different channels. And before we ask the last two questions, in case anyone is already thinking of going on the break, remember that is 20 to 12 here in Portugal. So in 21 to 12, in 21 minutes, we will connect again into different channels, and you can choose which channel you want to attend to. So people here in Portugal, I believe most of you want to stick with the Portuguese channel. So you're more than welcome to just stay here. And people that are live, remember that this channel, the one that we are using now, the Zoom connected to the YouTube, will disconnect and will reconnect again at noon Portuguese time for the English channel. So if you're happy to stay in English, you can just stay. But if you want to change to any of the other 4 languages, remember Portuguese, Greek, Italian, or Spanish, just go on the EduPlat website, go to this event, go to the event information. You have that by email, and somewhere towards the end of that page, there is a link to the Skype channel that we're going to use for that language. So just log in there and wait till 12 o'clock, and then eventually there will be someone presenting, and everyone in that channel, obviously there's going to be very, very small groups, and then you can participate. And the people that want to continue communicating in English, that's fine. There will be another there will be other presenters here, and you can just stay connected to this link. Okay, so we have 4 more minutes. More questions from anyone in the panel? Anyone here? Just I have Patricia here with her hand up. Oh, no, that was my hand. Sorry. But I have another hand up here. Well done. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, so the people that are here, that they either they're not good Portuguese speakers, or they want to just change language. All they have to do is follow one of us here. We're going to go to other rooms, so you're more than welcome to follow us. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that. Thank you. Yeah, so there's going to be little rooms for the different languages. Yeah, okay. And yes, remember that even people online, you don't need to stick with your mother tongue. You can go to any channel as long as you want to go. Yeah. Now there is someone, Filippo, I think. Is there a link directly to the Skype? The way to get the Skype, there are 5 different links for Skype channels, 1 for each language. To get the link, you need to go to the website eduplat.org in that language. You go to the event page, and then eventually you go there. Yeah, it's relatively simple. Yeah, you had that page in your emails. Those of you who sign online, and then you just did that. Yeah. Okay, Luigi, thank you. I don't have time now to post the page, but remember, we're going to take a break now. So in the 15 minutes, you have plenty of time to go online, go to the Italian website, for example, go to this event, read information, and in the detailed information is when we have that. Okay. Okay. Now, Chus is asking one question. We have to continue. No, you can take a break, disconnect. I'm going to disconnect myself, and I will connect again just a few minutes before noon. So I will connect in about 15 minutes because I also need a little break. We have time for one more question if anyone wants to ask. Yeah. one question they asking here, if it's the same link, if you're using English channel. So if you want to use the English channel, then those who are here that want to use the English face-to-face, then follow me. Those who are using Portuguese, then just stay here with Alexandra. Those who want to use Spanish, then follow Eduardo. Those who are doing that in Italian, follow Nico. Simple, yeah. And online, remember, you just have to go to the website in the language that you want to communicate, and that will be it. Yeah. Andrea says that she cannot find the link for the Spanish channel, same as the others. Andrea, please go to the eduplat.org in Spanish. Go to this event. Go to the page where it has lots of information about this event, and that includes the link to the Skype. Okay, and if you don't know how to find it, don't worry, because the first thing I'm going to do in the English channel is to show you live how to do that. Okay, so if you don't know where to go, just stay here in this channel or reconnect to this channel, and I'll explain you step by step. Okay, simple. Yeah, it looks like nobody else has a question. So it's 16 minutes to 12. Right now, 15 minutes to 12. I worked in Switzerland and I love to be on time to things. So thank you very much for everyone for attending, and I'll see you in 15 minutes. Thank you and bye-bye.